St. Jerome, chicken and ribs at a tasty price. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Hi, my name is Cliff Gable, and on behalf of Bruce Hopkins, myself, we'd like to welcome you to the 3rd annual Bowling Championship here at Brunswick Lanes. This year, this tournament is being brought to you by the Red Knight Enterprises and Subway. We've got another exciting tournament lined up here, Bruce, and I think we're going to see some fine bowling again this year.
I'm sure we will, Cliff. Nice to be back again, and I see a lot of familiar names on the list, and probably a half a dozen to 8 new ones. And I think our fans are going to enjoy what they're going to see over the next 11 weeks.
I think so. It's as you say, it's exciting to be back. We're looking for an excellent tournament this year. Even with our new names, these guys have come in here and qualified with some good numbers, and I think you're going to see some excellent bowling. So I guess without any further ado, we're going to call on our first bowlers to come up and get us underway. Our first bowler this year is Greg McGray, and for you that have watched these tournaments, you'll remember that Greg's been in here a number of times. Greg lives in Yarmouth. He's 39 years old. He's a truck driver for C. Hubbard Fuels. He's been bowling for 28 years. He bowls currently in 1 league here at Brunswick Lanes and has an average of 122.
He's the guy last year that gave us a thrill with 4 big strikes in a row, didn't he?
That's right. He certainly did. Greg's high single is 198. His high triple is 467. And he's had approximately 50 games over the 400 mark. So Greg is well up there.
And takes a 10 for his first box.
Usually takes an alley or two for the jitters to work out a little bit.
Oh yeah, and it's a little cool here to start off in the morning, and you got to get wound up and get into the thing. Off the left of the head pin a bit, but he's left a good break there in a 1-3-10.
Still setting fairly decent for his spare.
You can get that on the outside, or it's best to split the front 2 and carry the back one. He got on the outside of it and got his spare.
Hit it on the outside and got it coming off of the side wall anyway, so.
During the telecast, you're going to hear us talking about the pin numbers, and we'll get into that as soon as Ernie bowls.
Our next bowler is Ernie PITMAN. Ernie lives here in Yarmouth. He's 38 years old. And he's a utility worker at the Yarmouth Hospital. Ernie's been bowling for 23 years, bowls in a couple leagues here in the Brunswick Lanes. His current average is 114. His high single is 179.
And Ernie starts off with a 10. As I just mentioned, the pins are by number, and the closest one, the front pin, or the head pin as we call it, is number 1. Then you go to the left of the head pin, that's number 2. Number 3 is right beside it. Then it's 4, 5, 6, and the whole back row, starting with the left-hand corner pin, is 7, 8, 9, 10. So during the programs, you'll be hearing us refer to pin numbers.
We want to remind the viewers that if they have any comments, or if they'd like to, you know, let us know how they feel about the bowling, they can drop a letter off or drop off here at the Brunswick Lanes and talk to the staff, Gerald and Steve. These guys are always here, and they would be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Ernie's high triple, by the way, for the year, or over the years, has been 439, and he's had 20 games over the 400.
Now we're looking at Terry Spinney.
Terry's another Yarmouth bowler. He's age 40. He's assistant manager at the local golf course. Terry's been bowling for 27 years.
Hey, nice spare.
Currently bowls in 2 leagues, and he get a nice spare. First guy to start off with the mark.
He had the 5, 7, 10. This is the very center pin, the 2 corner pins, and he had wood laying there, and the action took the 10 pin last, and off the head pin, and picks up a big 9 on that spare. So you don't always have to hit the head pin to get a good break, but that's the spot to go, really.
Yeah, that's true. And
now you can't fluke this one.
A lot of these guys have a lot of steam on that ball, and they get a lot of good action. Terry currently has an average of 119. He has a career high single of 179 and a career high triple of 427. He has at least 20 games over the 400 mark.
Here comes our first newcomer. This is George EMIN, and this is his first crack at TV bowling, and George has developed into a pretty good bowler too.
George is EMIN. He lives in Tuscott. He's 37 years old, and he's a service station owner here in Yarmouth. He's been bowling for 20 years. He currently bowls in the Firemen's League at Brunswick here. His current average is 111. His high single is 156, and high triple of 381. George says he hasn't had any games in the 400 yet, but he's hoping for one. And I'm sure that he's more than capable of doing that, Bruce.
George can throw the big game, yeah. He's a competitive bowler, and he works hard at his game. You know, he wants to improve, and he used to bowl in the Friday Night League, and he now bowls with his fire department, of course, as you said.
And I'm sure that George has experienced some of the nervousness that most of the bowlers do when they get up here before the cameras and before just people totally sitting and watching you.
It's a bit different, or I imagine it is. I haven't tried it, but it's got to be different up there, as you said, in front of the cameras, the lights, and knowing there's people back here talking about him.
So
Greg McGray's open on a spare on his 3rd box. Spare's in his 2nd box, but he's now rolling his 3rd. Right on the head pin that time, and takes 8. So Greg is 28 after 2.
again, we remind people that this is the 3rd annual championship bowling here at Brunswick Lanes, and it's brought to you by Subway and the Red Knight Enterprises. And if we get a look at the back of one of these shirts that Greg is wearing, it's showing that King's Billiards, which will soon be opening here in Yarmouth out at the Red Knight Enterprises complex. So it's nice to see new businesses coming into the area.
Yeah, sure is. Greg takes a 10, and he has 38 on 3. Throws that big ball. You got a big backswing, a long backswing, and a lot of speed. Good stuff on the ball.
Just like a bullet when it goes down that alley.
It moves.
I don't think there's too many around that bowl any harder than what Greg does.
Gets a lot of action, a lot of extra pins with the hard ball. He's left himself a tough break there. It's the 1-8-10. There is some wood, and that's all he took was the wood.
From the angle we're setting, it looks like it's impossible to put that ball between those 2 pins, doesn't it? But it will. There is a fair amount of distance in between those pins down there.
The shot was there. Of course, you have to hit them, that's for sure. But Greg now has 48 after 4. Ernie Pittman, 17 on 2. On the head pin, still falling, and whoop.
It would almost roll down to take that pin.
Yeah, so now he's got the number 10 pin, the right-hand corner. Right on it. Good spare.
First mark for Ernie.
Off the head pin, and another gift with a big 9. Which makes Ernie 36 on 3. Piece of wood's going to have to be cleared out of there by the looks, unless it rolls back.
It's starting to move back a little now. I think he'll carry through.
looks like
Yep,
it's going to go back.
Move
Yeah.
back.
Comes up and hits the little lip up in front of the head pin, and it'll carry it, start it back again the other way. The plate that the pins are on is just a little bit lower than the lane itself. And Ernie's right on it for a double mark. And as I mentioned, double mark, Cliff, there is special prize money, $5 for 3 marks in a row or a double strike. So earns 2/3 of the way to earning some extra money.
And the boys are well aware of that too, so they definitely want to pick up that extra prize money as they go along.
Well, Terry's got a shot there. He's got the 169 with a piece of wood behind it. Ooh. Well,
It's rolling back.
not fast enough, I don't think.
No, it's just going to lay up against it, I think.
Good
Bruce.
try.
Yep, excellent try.
And takes
he
his
takes
10.
a 10.
Terry's 39 on 3. So they're grouping in there. There's only 2 or 3 pins separating them so far. Long way to go yet. This is a 2-game series, by the way. Right in the pocket. Good pocket hit. Terry
Total
rolls
pinfall determines who will advance in.
That's right.
Out of
2
this
of the
round.
4 advance.
Yes.
Yeah, on total pinfall. And, I was just going to say Terry rolls kind of an in-shoot ball there at the back, but
He
gets
has a
over on
lot
the
of
left-hand.
action as he's making his approach.
Yeah. Picks up his single pin spare, so he's open on the 4th. He's 49 and open.
So again, we're grouped right in there pretty tight.
George had a couple of 10s to start. right on that good shot. He was right in on the pocket there, and has an 8.
George isn't that far off. It's a mark will put him right back here into the hunt.
There, yep. Not getting it out where he really wants to yet. He kind of looks like he might be dropping it down a little bit, and instead of all staying to the right.
Get himself relaxed a little bit. There he is, right back on that head pin.
He's right over there. Good ball.
Get relaxed a little bit and get used to all the lights and the cameras. Right on it.
And a 10. So he's got 3 10s and an 8. So he's pinning.
He's only left 2 pins on the plate.
Yep.
Oh, the 4 alley. So that's good.
He needs to get that first mark under his belt.
Yeah.
Feel better. Greg McGray, 48 on 4. Leaves the 5, 9, 10.
That fastball of Greg's works really well for him at times, but it can also be one of those type of balls that will run right through and take 1 pin out.
Yeah, if you're just a little bit off your game, you can. Of course, I think that happens to anybody really, but it seems that it happens to a fastball bowler more than it does the guy that just lays it out there really easy. So halfway through the first game, Greg is 7 over par. Not getting on that head pin, although he's getting some breaks, occasional break off the head pin. He's got the 1, 3, 6, and 9 in back pin and a piece of deadwood in back, which will help take the back pin.
I noticed during the warm-up, Greg had 3 or 4 marks right in a row there, and he was talking to me and saying wanted to know if they counted towards his prize money, but
don't think we'll do that.
No, I don't think so.
Ernie Pittman, 46 on 4 and open with a spare. It's off to the side. It comes out with a good 7. This gives him 53 on 4. Nice spare. That's 3 in a row for Ernie. So Ernie picks up a little bonus money.
Ernie's got 3 marks in a row.
And a nice ball in there with a big 9.
And the possibility of another one, Bruce.
Yep. He, one of his other 2 spares, he pinned that.
And he got
He's
it.
done it again. So
And that's 4 spares in a row for Ernie. Really,
in a groove right now.
I think he's got it zeroed in there a little bit.
And Terry Spinney is 49 on 4, and he's open with a spare. And right in the pocket, real good pocket.
Big
Left the
9
5
for
pin.
break. 9 on his spare. Those kind of breaks certainly add that score up in a hurry.
Makes them count. Right on it.
And Terry's one away from a little extra bonus money.
He's had 3 marks in his first 5 boxes, 2 in a row. On the head pin again, but a little full. And he's going to get 6 out of it, and he's got a shot there.
Yeah, that's a possibility right there.
Go over it on that single pin, the pin that's over on the far right. And if he can get on the left-hand side of it, the ball should carry the deadwood.
And
Yes.
that's just what he did.
Yes.
That's just what he did.
And that gives Terry 3 in a row. So we're going to pass out some bonus money the first round.
Yeah, this is a little exciting here today. Usually we get in well into the matches before this type of thing happens.
George got on the head pin that time and didn't leave himself a very good break. 8 and 10, but there's wood over there, and with the side boards and the shallow gutters, you never know what's going to happen.
Possible to kick it across. And that's just what he tried to do. He hit that deadwood right on the end, trying to spin it off.
Hoping it would come off the sidewall
Yeah.
and go across the plate. Yeah. Kind of bounced that one out there, probably got it over the lob line, and you'll notice that we don't have a lob line judge this year. The bowlers are being asked to go on the honor system.
And
if they lob a ball, they'll call it.
That's right. And I just noticed that George turned around to press the button on that 3rd ball. He called that a lob.
Yeah.
So
Didn't matter because he didn't hit any pins.
That's right.
But that's what they're going to do this year.
And it's nice to see that. You know, the bowlers are here for fun, and they're going to be as honest as they can be.
And a 9 for 56 on 6.
And a little later on, Bruce, as this thing winds down, we have a beautiful trophy this year to present to the winner of this tournament. And I think any bowler certainly would be proud to have that setting in their living room on a mantle somewhere.
It's going to take the strongest man in the world to carry it over there. Give it to him.
It is heavy. It certainly is. And this trophy is donated by Brunswick Lanes, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And it's just a gorgeous trophy. It's one of the nicest I've seen.
And Greg has his spare in the 7th. Don't think he got quite on the pin, but the wood was close enough that he was able to take it, and that's all that counts. It fell. So Greg is 76 on 7 and has a spare working for him. Off the head pin again and leaves the 1-7. He picks up 8 on the spare, which gives him 84 on 7. Having a look at that deadwood that's going back. It's going to go back out of the way, then it stays right there. I'm looking at the monitor here now on it, and it's right out. Can't see much of the head pin, just a little bit, but enough that he could probably, well, give him a little bit of a guide. If he doesn't hit the wood too solid, if he can hit that pin and flip it to the left, of course, it should take the corner pin.
Just might like to add here that qualifying for this tournament this year, Greg turned in a 409 for 3 games to qualify. And he was the #1 qualifier this year. With the highest.
Was he?
Yes, with the highest triple.
I know there was a couple of 400s in there and a couple of 2 or 3 to 4, well, I guess about 4 380s, I guess. And the boys had some good scores in their qualifications.
Yeah. Yeah, we had 3 or 4 in the 370s. It was really good scores that qualified. The cutoff this year was 326, Bruce, and
that's just about what it was last year.
just about,
I think,
yeah.
Cliff, yeah.
So
there's Ernie Pittman, got 4 spares in a row now, and he's open on the 6. He's 82 plus. Got off to the left a little bit, but picked up another big 7. So Ernie's had 2 7s and 2 9s on his 4 marks, which gives him 89 on 6.
Ernie qualified for this tournament this year with a 354, which is a decent score. I noticed from all of these bowlers, we have this little comment sheet, and one of the comments that Ernie made on his sheet was, "Make me look good." Well,
he's doing it himself.
After seeing this first game, Bruce, we don't have to do much to help him in that category.
He's doing it all by himself out there.
He's doing an excellent job here.
He's 27 over par on the 7th right now with a 97.
That's looking really nice. Out of seven boxes, he's had 4 of them with marks, and those 4 were right in a row, so he's doing a fine job here this year.
There he is, right in the pocket, good. And there's our first strike.
There's our first strike of the day. Really nice one.
Looks like Ernie doesn't want to take any chances on that second game. Terry, there's our second strike, and Terry Spinney gets that, and that was on a spare, so
and that's Terry's 4th mark in a row.
And Terry's got 94 on 6. That's right, he's got 4 in a row. Got a strike working for him now.
Onto that head pin. A little too thick, Bruce, and just kind of shoved it right back.
But he's got a piece of wood there, too, Cliff, that might get just up on the rid, a little bit to the top part of the rid. I think things could go flying. Oh, get down on 3. So he takes a 7 on the strike, which is 111 on 7. Probably go after the 2.
Terry qualified for this tournament.
Well, he was going for the works.
This year with a 350 as well. So
Terry's 119 after 8.
George coming up now. He's still looking for that first mark, but I think he'll settle down and he'll start bowling up. There he goes. Look at that.
I said we didn't have any strikes, and we've had 3 in the last 3 bowlers.
Yeah. And that takes the pressure off him. He knows that he can do it now. He's settled down. George qualified for this tournament this year with a 349 triple. Getting a little bit of luck there.
1, 3, 7, and 9, and that's possible. You can split the front 2, even go on the outside of it. Ooh.
And he tried to go on the left side of it and missed. So I guess I always tried to bowl a little safer, I guess. I always tried to get it in amongst all of the wood. That's the only way I get a chance.
And George takes a 7, and it has 79 on the 8th. He's still got 2 boxes and another game to pick it up. So.
That's right. And we remind the viewers, if you're just tuning in, this is our 3rd annual championship bowling from Brunswick Lanes, brought to you by Subway and the Red Knight Enterprises. You'll notice that some of the guys on the back of their shirts has King's Billiards, and that's a new business that's opening up out at the Red Knight Enterprises building there. So always nice to see new businesses. Nice to have the sponsors come forward and help bring this type of bowling to you.
Well, it's the 2 sponsors that we had last year,
yes.
So they decided that our program was good, the people enjoyed watching it, and they've come back again and sponsored it, and that's good. Nice 10. Nice
There's
10.
an example of that hard ball and those pins flying and getting a lot of action.
So Greg is 104 on 9.
I know that I talked to the people here at Brunswick Lanes, and I've talked to our sponsors at Subway and Red Knight Enterprises, and they tell us that the public comes in and talks to them about it. So that's nice to see, you know, and this is what keeps sponsors coming back, the advertising part of this tournament?
Well, the talk around when the program comes on and people seem to enjoy it, it's local bowlers, it's local participation by the sponsors. Right on the pin for a spare, so Greg has one more ball to finish off his first game. 114 plus. We might mention Cable 5 and Brunswick Lanes also, who are into this. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here showing it.
Exactly right.
So there's a 5 on it. So Greg comes out with a nice 119.
There's a lot of people behind the scenes that the viewers never get to see, but they work hard.
Those guys on the cameras and on the module back there, they're all working away. Ernie's open with a strike.
And I might add, they do a fine job of it, too.
That should be, if he gets down to the left a little bit, he'll be all right. Yep. So he has a spare on his strike, and he's got 2 marks in a row. 117 on 8. He and Terry Spinney are running neck and neck there.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're putting the pressure on these other 2 bowlers.
And he's going to steal a few pins there. He got way down to the right, but got a 6 on a spare. 133 on 9. Good shot there for spare.
And he's
right on it.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, he was
wow.
robbed.
I don't blame you, Ernie. I don't blame you for scratching your head.
Yeah, he's wondering what's holding that pin up.
Even with the wood in behind it, it didn't help any. Well, he was reluctant to go, but Ernie ends up with a nice 143. Real nice game to start.
Excellent game, and he's certainly got the mark for everybody to shoot for right now.
That would have given him more money too. That would have been his third mark in a row. Terry Spinney's 119 on 8. So he needs a mark to keep up with Ernie.
Right through.
And 7 for 126. 1 box to go. He's on the head pin, a little thin on the head pin, but a good break out of it. A good spot to hit them too sometimes. They'll really fly around.
Got some deadwood flying around in the back.
He's got a nice piece of deadwood over there to the right. Yep.
And he's got a spare in the 10s.
So 136 and a ball working, so 7 will tie him with Ernie, 8 will put him in the lead. Right to the middle for 4. So 140. And nothing to be sneezed at.
That's for sure. And you know, these 2 other guys, they're still into it. They're not that far away. They still got another game to come, so they can come out of this with if they can stay within striking distance, that last game can make the difference for them.
Yeah, you can look there and say, well, heck, if they can bowl 140, so can I.
Yeah, that's right. And Greg's not that far behind with a 119 right now.
Ooh, nice try. I think the better shot of that one is a split, but he was on the outside, didn't carry the left-hand corner pin, that's all. 9 for 88. So he'd like to have a mark. Now finish off his game with a mark, and that gives you a little confidence to start the second game.
And with that second game, you know, it still gives them a...
There he is. There he is.
Chance to come.
Right in the
nice
pocket,
break.
good.
Nice break.
Yeah. He's only had the 1 strike, so he'd like to have another mark right now. That pin rolls out of the way, he'll be a lot better off.
Yeah, he certainly will. And it's going to roll, I think.
And you should wait till the wood stopped rolling.
Yeah.
I could even give him a guide. If he was to miss it, which he didn't, he could probably miss it to the right and still got it. So 98 and 1 ball working. Whoop. Got that one down.
Got away
but
from him a little bit there.
got 4 on it for 102. So after the first game, Greg McGray 119, Ernie Pittman 143, Terry Spinney 140, and George Eamon 102.
So all 4 of them over in the hundreds this time. As you say, Ernie and Terry's out in front there with that 143 and 140, so it's going to be exciting, Bruce.
Greg McGray, we're starting off the second game now. Greg up there leaves the 310.
And for those viewers that aren't familiar with it, the total pinfall for the 2 games will determine the 2 guys that will advance. 2 will
That's
advance,
right.
2 will drop out.
And there's prize money for everybody who advances.
That's right. Along with prize money for 3 marks in a row. And a couple of them have already collected money in that first game.
Yeah,
for having 3
Terry
marks in a
has
row.
and Ernie Pittman has.
Exactly, so that's a little bit of a bonus for them.
They
And
have to pay to qualify in this. They pay a sum of $20, pays for their game and prize money. And first round bowlers who advance are able to win $25. Then it goes up accordingly, which we'll talk about as we go along. So you can get your money back in a little bit if you can get past the first round.
Yep, that's right. And in the case of getting 3 marks or more, that gives them some more bonus money. So the big money comes at the last, and that's what these guys are shooting for. They know that that money's there, and they're trying for it.
So Greg starts off with a pair of 9s.
Ernie coming up with his first game of 143, and I'm sure he's looking forward to carrying that momentum into this second game.
Started off slow. He started reasonably slow. He started with a 10 and a 7. Then he had 6 marks, 4 in a row, and then a strike with his pair. So he finished well. Right on the head pin, but really solid. Got to get in the pocket on that shot. And,
Yeah.
in the pocket, I mean, on his case was the 1-3 pin. And takes his 10. And 10s are big. 10s will count up in the long run.
That's for sure. Yep, they certainly do.
I think we said it last year. Get the 10s and the spares and strikes will come.
That's
Right in the pocket again. Ooh.
oh, hard break, but he's got wood there to work with, so.
I would think he might want to go down the right-hand end of that right-hand deadwood.
Oh, and
Got
he
in
just
the middle
shoved
of
that
it,
deadwood
so
right
we'll never
back
know
to
now. Look, as I said earlier, we're at an angle here, but we have a monitor that's giving us the shot, and looks like he might have wanted to go the other end. But anyway, he takes a 9 for 19. Terry Spinney, 140 his first game. He had 4 marks in a row and had 6 total. And he's right in the pocket. Leaves the 4-8. He's got a piece of wood laying in it. Could make it a little more difficult for him. Whoop, slid by the left. Little body English didn't help any. And has a 9. Down on that 3 pin where sometimes you can get a pretty good break. And he left himself the 1-2-4. You split the front 2 or go to the outside. Always seems the split is a bigger shot. It isn't. And that's what can happen when you get on the outside. You can flip that.
Cut it a little too thin.
Or you can take 2 out and leave 1. Most generally on the split, you'll get them all. And he's got his 10 for 19. George Eamon, 102 his first game.
George went out with a mark in his last game, so I think that's going to help his confidence a little bit, get over that shyness of the cameras and the lights.
good 10. And he leaves the 1-3-6. Ooh, got outside on it, and then he left the 6. Came off the wall and went right in front of the pin. So after the first 2 boxes in the second game, there's 3 19s and an 18 without marks. So a little bit of a slow start.
I think the thing that has amazed me over the years, Bruce, is how all the games have seemed to come down to the last couple of alleys before you determine who's going ahead.
Yeah, we had some exciting ones last year. Whoa, there's a big strike.
Big strike for Greg.
10-pin dropped a little slow, but it was well hit.
The crowd in back here is getting into the act here. We hear some clapping and some razzing going on.
That's what we want.
Yep, exactly.
We like to have the
These
people
guys
get involved.
are up there. It takes a little bit of that pressure off and
have a little fun.
Yeah, and that's what we hope that all of these guys do, is have fun.
There's that fastball, Cliff. Look at that.
Yep, it's
way
amazing.
Down the left, and he left the 1-5. So now, if he wants to punch, now's the time to punch. But I mean, a punch is hit it dead on, right solid.
And that's just what he did.
Boy.
That's just what he did. I think one of the things that always amazes me with Greg, he's got a really fast, hard ball, but he's accurate with it.
He's very accurate.
Yep. When he's on his game, he's just as accurate with that hard ball as anybody I've seen. Ernie right on that head pin, and he wobbles it.
And
he comes
he's
up with a strike.
Yep. Another one slow going, but a nice ball. He had it right in the pocket where he wanted it.
These guys are sending out the challenge, and all the rest are answering it. Oh,
Back
another nice hit.
Again.
Another nice hit.
He won't come any closer getting a double than that without getting it. So he left himself the 2-pin.
And I think double strikes pays the boys some money too, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
Double strikes or any 3 marks in a row.
There's his 10. So Ernie's 48 on the 4th. Greg McGray is 48 and open with a spare. Now here's Terry Spinney with 19. And he leaves the 4 horsemen. That's the 4 down the left-hand side. 1, 2, 4, 7. It's called the same thing if it's on the other side too.
Yeah.
And Terry has his 10 for 29.
Again, you're watching Championship Bowling here at Brunswick Lanes, brought to you by Red Knight Enterprises and Subway. And soon to have a new business out at the Red Knight called King's Billiards.
Yeah, I see the big building going up there. Well, you're on the hit pin, you stay on the hit pin, and it's not there.
So on behalf of the sponsors, we want to remind you, if you're out in their area, drop in. Try some of their excellent food and service.
Oh, Terry has 36 on 4.
At this time, Bruce might like to mention that we'd like to thank McDonald's for feeding all of the workers here today, myself and you and all the crew here. It's very nice of them to supply us with meals.
They're back again, are they?
Yes, sir. And it's great. Oh,
George has a
Deadwood
9.
sliding across off of that side rail almost took that pin out for him.
George has 28 on 3. Struggling for marks. There he's in the pocket. Comes up with a 9-pin drop. Leaves the 2-pin.
That piece of deadwood carried that pin away. It was falling towards that.
Right on it.
And there he is.
Greg McGray opened with a spare on the 4th. He's 48, and his score is, he's not quite that old. So he's got one ball working on that spare for him. Seven, and leaves that little triangle.
After that first round, Greg was down 21 pins behind Terry, which was for second place. And right now, he's got that total pinfall up there real close.
Nice spare. 3 marks in a row for Greg. So there's some more bonus money. That can be a tough little spare at times.
It certainly can.
You get in the pocket and you can leave one so easily.
But Greg realizes that he's getting close to that second position right now in total pinfall, so he's going to try and get everything he can out of that. That fastball, does that ever work for you, right?
19 for 74 on 5. Leave the head pin up there. Ooh, yeah.
Greg talking to himself, he knew that was off when he let it go.
And a 10.
the crowd razzing Greg a little bit for missing that spare,
So
which is
Greg,
an unusual thing for Greg.
Yeah, Greg has 84 on 6. Ernie Pittman.
There's Ernie's got a lot of stuff on
Get
that
some
ball
action,
as well.
yeah. Get some action down there. Well, the pins fall very good at Brunswick Lanes. The game has changed over the years with the side kicks and the backdrops brought in, and no gutters. And there's, besides all that, there's a lot of good bowlers around.
So Ernie's still in there right now. He's a few pins behind Greg as far as this game is concerned, but he still had that big 143 game, and that's going to give him a little cushion there to play with.
Yeah, Greg's about 45 over par, and Ernie's about 51 for a high game and a half. It's in the pocket and leaves a little bunch of 4. It's the 3, 5, 6, and 9. It's the triangle with 1 in behind.
And cut that a little too thin rather than punch it back a little.
And picks up his 10.
That certainly is a secret of this game, though, to take those pins. Pin them. The more pins you leave on that plate, the more it hurts you.
Now Terry Spinney. Terry had 140 his first game, but he's working hard right now to get himself going, and he's going to have a strike.
Yep. He's got it.
Going to have a strike. That could start him going again.
Another one of these bowlers with a lot of action on that getting a lot of action from his ball.
Back in the pocket again, and
big. Almost had that double.
From the angle we're sitting at, I think, well, he's got to play the wood to get the pin, but I think it'll be all right. If it doesn't take it right off, it'll come off the wall. Right on the pin, too.
Right on it.
Good solid hit. So Terry has a strike and a spare. Gives him 66 on 6. And open. And George is open on a spare. And he's picked up 7, so it gives him 45 on 4. It's kind of a tough shot. You get on that head pin and might carry the corner pin, but it might not. It probably won't carry the 8 pin, or if it carries the 8 pin, it doesn't go over to the corner.
It's so hard to judge sometimes what those pins will do.
54 on 5. Skinny hit on the head pin, and it left him the 210. Even if, I was going to see if that wood stays on, it wasn't going to help him, and he's just got to flip that 2-pin over.
I think if he'd have hit that on the left side of that pin, he just might have got that.
I'm sure he was trying to.
It was a nice try.
And 63 after 6. So after 6, Greg McGray 84, Ernie Pittman 68, Terry Spinney 66 in open, and George EMIN 63. Now we're coming down to the last 4 boxes now, so it should be interesting. Well, that works into a pretty good shot now. He gets on that front pin, and the wood helps take a couple of pins, and the ball goes through, takes the other 2. And with the speed that he throws, as we've mentioned, probably just blast everything right back in the pit. Yep.
Just what he did.
Spare.
And he blasted everything right back in that pit.
So he's open on 7, 94 plus, after having 119 his first one, so he's going to have a good total. And picks up 5 for 99. He's going to want to split the 1-2-4. You want to split the 1-2. That'll take the 4, and hopefully the head pin will go over and take the 6-pin. Takes you shore 9, and he's 108 on 8. Ernie Pittman 68 on 6. Good hit, good hit. Leaves him to 6-pin. Right on it. Ern's pretty accurate on single pins. I've watched Ern bowl for a few years, and he's usually pretty sharp on singles.
They make it look so easy.
Oh, it is.
It is for me when I'm sitting back here, Bruce.
Picks up 7, so Ernie's 85 on the 7th. Split the 2.
Oh,
okay.
Nice shot.
Off the wall. Maybe I'm talking as an old timer when I say split the 2, because with the shallow gutters and the side kicks, you can do just what he did there. You can come off of the wall. So there's probably a different philosophy out there on playing some of these shots than I've looked at. Terry comes up with 8 on his spare.
Terry waiting for that dead wood to stop rolling, so
He's
try
got
to plan his shot.
4 pieces of wood laying down there, so we'll just wait and see what he wants to play. Not just sure what he wanted. I don't think he wanted to go there. With the reaction that he had come back, that wasn't where he wanted.
I think he wanted to be over on the end of that dead wood a little bit, to perhaps spin it and kick his ball sideways a little more.
He hit it solid, so it didn't spin. He just went right straight back. He had to have the wood to move. So Terry's 84 on 7. Right in there.
Big strike for Terry.
The pocket. That in shoot goes in on the 1-3 pocket for him, and does a lot of work.
Again, here we go again, Bruce.
Yeah.
We're coming down, and we got 3 of them here in the hunt for those 2 positions.
Terry started slow, but he's gone strike, spare, 10 strike.
Unfortunately, George hasn't got quite on track today, but he's been in there fighting all the way, and it was nice to have George and all the new bowlers come into this tournament this year.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy about being here, and disappointed that he didn't bowl better, but that's natural. And I'd be willing to bet he'll be back next year.
Oh, I'm sure he will. You know, I've noticed you talk to these bowlers after they've come in here and tried qualifying and get on the tournament, the difference that they find because of the lights and the cameras. And
oh, it's got to be different. There's no doubt about it there. It's get the 358. That's a little different break. But you got to split the front two to get that. Well, outside, but split is better. There, you got it. Went outside on it, or got outside on it, I should say, but it went.
George is not laying down. He's still in there fighting.
Here's Greg, 108 on 8 after having 119. So he's going to need a couple of marks here to really get in the running. He's 47 over par for his 18 boxes. It's going to be hard pressed to advance, I think. But you never know with him.
The possibility is there, that's for sure.
I don't think he'll play the wood. I think he'll probably want to go down on the 2. Maybe come off the wall or a fine split. No? Oh, nice shot. Very nice. Very
excellent,
nice.
Excellent shot.
He saw something and we couldn't from here. As we said, we're at a little angle and the monitor didn't show it too well. But he saw something that he wanted and he hit it and it went. And it was a nice spare.
Off of that side wall.
Yeah, very nice. That could be a big spare if he loads it up and finishes off in good style.
This is his last alley.
$16 for 124.
And he's got a chance for another spare.
Yes.
He could almost play that from either side to take that spare.
I like the split on the 3. You get on the other side of it and it could have gone just easily as not.
Yeah, he's got it wobbling, but it's not going to go.
And a 10 to finish off with a 134 and a 2-game total of 253. And there's nothing wrong with that for a total.
No, that's...
Ernie Pittman open on the 8th with a spare. He's 95 and a ball. Slides him around, takes a 7, which is 102 on 8. Hit, pin, hit. 3 in a row for Ernie. We're going to have to get a calculator out here to figure out the bonus money.
Yeah, these guys are
down off the side
really
again.
Taking advantage of that bonus money on 3 marks.
120 leaves the 1 and 2. Oh, and slides just by. But Aaron's in good shape. Takes these 2 for 130. Well, how about 1 for 129? So a 129 and a 143 for 272. Well, that puts Aaron in good shot.
Yeah, it sure does.
Terry's open with a strike. Right back in that hit pin again. Just leaves the 9 pin. Couple pieces of wood there. If he goes between those 2 front woods and takes the back deadwood, even on the front one on the right, he'll be all right, I think. Oh, no. Double wood. And that's what ruined it. It looked like on the monitor for the best shot would have been go between those 2 and just take the 1 wood, because you start playing double woods and you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Or you can be in trouble, let's put it that way.
You never really have any idea of where it's going to go on you.
So Terry's 112 on 9. That gives him 252, and Greg had 253 for total. So Terry is in, along with Ernie.
Terry
or
out on
advance, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. Terry out there on the right side that time, Bruce, but the wood carrying around had left it with a possibility of a spare for him, but now all he can do is try to pin up the 10.
And an 8 for 120, and a 2-game total of 260. So our 2 qualifiers have been shown to us now. It's Terry Spinney with 260, and Ernie Pittman with 272. And unfortunately, Greg, who had a good 253, will not be able to advance. There's a 6 on George's spare.
And for bonus there, Bruce, Greg has 1, Ernie has 2 bonuses, and Terry has 1.
You're keeping track of them, are you? Good. Okay. That's just what I was looking for here.
So I think this is the most bonus money we've paid out in one week.
This quick, anyway.
Yeah. But that's good. It shows the caliber. It shows the guys are settling in well with this tournament.
Ooh,
Most of them really look forward to it.
And a 9 for 104, and a 2-game total of 206. So just to quickly go over the first week of bowling, Ernie Pittman, 272, Terry Spinney, 260, and they both advance. Greg McGray, 253, and George EMIN, 206. So that takes care of the bowling for the first week.
That's right, and 19 pins separating the top 3 bowlers here this week, and that's a good indication of the caliber of bowling that we're getting here in these tournaments.
It's a good start. So I guess you're going to talk to the 2 advancers there,
here,
give them a little bit of some white envelopes or whatever.
Congratulate our bowlers. So
maybe while you're right there, I could, if the camera's still on us, I can hold up this trophy that we were talking about earlier, and there, I guess they can see it there.
Yeah,
it's different than the last 2.
It is.
I can't hold it too long because it's heavy. But there's a very nice trophy that's being donated by Brunswick Lanes through manager Gerald Thibodeau. And this is what the guys are shooting for, along with the money.
And I think that means just as much as the money, Bruce, to be able to take that home and set it on the mantle. And
you might have to build a new house with big shelves on it to hold it, but
that's right.
Worth it.
Exactly. So in just a second, we'll be back to have a couple words with some of the 2 qualifiers. And so just stay with us. We'll be right back.
Cable 5 Candlepin Challenge, brought to you in part by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. King's Billiards, a division of Red Knight Enterprises. St. Jerome, chicken and ribs at a tasty price. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
And ladies and gentlemen, we've just wrapped up the first week of our championship bowling here at Brunswick Lanes, and a great match again this year, same as always. I'm going to call Ernie Pittman in at this time. Ernie, congratulations, an excellent tournament. I noticed on your comment sheet there you asked me to make you look good. I didn't have to do a thing today. You really did a fine job.
Well, it was a good morning for me the first 2 games this morning. When I missed a hit pin, I was lucky enough to get a break, and my second ball I picked them up. So after the first couple alleys, you work the nerves out. It's all right after that.
Well, you certainly had a fine day there. You were hitting right onto them. You were cleaning up. You weren't leaving many pins on the plate, and that's the name of this game. Ernie, on behalf of the Red Knight Enterprises and Subway, I'd like to present you with your advancement money and your bonus money, and you did a fine job.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations through the rest of the tournament.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, our second place advancement this week is Terry Spinney. And if you can come forward here for a minute. Terry, congratulations on behalf of Subway and the Red Knight Enterprises. On your comment sheet, again, good stuff, and you had the good stuff today.
Well, yeah, actually I did today, and when you've got a good competition like Greg McGray and Ernie Pittman, you don't want to ease up at all, because they'll kill you in a hurry.
That's for sure. Those guys, they can make you really work. And you were there. You rose to the occasion, and you had a really nice tournament.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Felt good, and I just hope to continue.
Well, I'm sure if you keep bowling the way you did today, you will. On behalf of the Red Knight Enterprises, the Subway, here's your advancement money and your bonus money today. We've given out more bonus money this first week than we have in the other tournaments. So on behalf of the sponsors, Brunswick Lanes, all the crew at Cable 5, we congratulate you and look forward to seeing you in the future weeks.
Thanks, Cliff.
Okay,
we'll
Terry.
see you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our first week of championship bowling here, our third annual. And we look forward to having you back next week, so don't forget, tune into Cable 5 for championship bowling here from Brunswick Lanes. I'm Cliff Gable on behalf of Bruce Hopkins saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Prizes. St. Jerome, chicken and ribs at a tasty price. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?